Good afternoon and welcome to Through the Static. It's another Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I am sitting here next to this very handsome guy named Coach Elix. How are you, Coach Elix?
Oh, Stephen, you don't have to, say things like that. Say more.
How are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Also, I'm always well when I'm here. We have Mark, another handsome guy across from us that does the jukebox, and we're so fortunate and lucky to have him produce the show, which I love. So for anybody who's listening for at least a good portion of the beginning of the show, I'm not taking calls, so I don't want anyone staying on hold. I know people have already called, and so I'll let you know a little bit later because we have a guest that's going to be calling in that you need to listen to. It's going to be a fantastic interview. It's such a dear friend of both of us.
She's an amazing woman.
So yeah, right around 5:15, I'm gonna call her and get her in. So
we're gonna tell people who she is.
Not yet. We're just gonna get the curiosity going. So
okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to say it's who it is yet. So this is a big surprise, a big climax,
a big unveil.
Exactly.
Which
is a good thing, right? We will tell. We'll definitely tell.
Unveil, is that a word?
Unveil.
Unveil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
see now you tie that in with spirit because
Yeah.
the veil that separates, right? So you tied that in, which is it's a great thing. You just also have spirit in you, Elix. So anybody who's on hold, please don't stay on hold because I don't want you sitting there because I'm not going to get you until maybe later on. So I just don't want you to stay there on hold because we have this interview. But I'm very excited. We'll talk about that. And so just quickly, I just want to make sure I bring back up again Friday, January 18th, 2019, the Elks Hall, Norwood, Mass. I'm going to be doing an event for Cleveland Elementary School. If you're local, anywhere in New England, you've got to come, $25. This is going to be the best venue. 100% of the funds go to the class. If the class doesn't use all the money in their graduating class before they go to middle school, it will be gifted to the next grade coming in that's going to be graduating. And the greatest thing is yesterday I was in juvenile court, and who do I see but my good friend who is putting this together, attorney Colleen Brierly. So it was so great to get to see her and just chat about this upcoming event and how excited we are that this is going to happen. And anytime I get to do a fundraiser and 100% of the funds go to a particular, whatever the cause is, I absolutely love. So, and as a matter of fact, the first fundraiser I did, which ties into my guest, we did a couple of years ago, and it was for the Rhode Island SPCA, and we raised a good amount of money. So remember?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was really good, and
that was also with your guest.
Yeah, I just said that. Oh, are you listening to me? See, this is the same thing at home. He doesn't listen. Almost 26 years. He does not listen. So, but Elix did talk about on Facebook Live a couple of minutes ago something that happened. You tell them because it's your friend who sent the picture.
So this is amazing. I mean, it still blows my mind. So last night I was at home and a friend of mine sent me a picture, and she simply said, "Can you have Stephen take a look at this? Because this is a picture that was taken by my mom, and it was a picture of a black cat, and she says, she thought the cat looked so cute, so she wanted to take a picture. What happened was, after the picture was taken, she noticed that there was an image behind the cat, and there was nobody there, and so she was kind of like, it looked like a person behind the cat. So she says, can you ask Stephen if this is like a ghost or something like that? So Stephen is actually putting the picture on the Facebook Live. If you're on Facebook Live, you get to see it. So I called Stephen. At first I'm like, but it does look like a person. How could that? Are you sure there was nobody behind? She's like, no. She just wanted to take a picture of the cat. She thought it was really cute. So I called Stephen. Stephen looks at it. He's like, yeah, I'm actually getting a soldier. So I said, yeah, he's getting a soldier. So she says, well, that's very interesting that he gets that because there's a grave in the property. And part of the sale was that they needed to take care of the grave. And it's a grave of a soldier from the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And so she's like, do you think that has anything to do with that image? So we're looking at the image, and again, the image has the guy, the person, wearing what looks like a red jacket with a white belt.
It almost looks like Santa Claus, right? Getting ready to sit down.
Right. So I said to Stephen, Google what a revolutionary soldier looked like, what the uniform they wore, what does it look like? And Stephen does that as we're talking, looking at the picture, and sure enough, as soon as we see the picture, and I'm showing on Facebook Live again what that looks like, is a guy, a soldier with a red jacket and a white belt. So then we look further, and we looked to see, so who wore the red jackets? And it was the British wore the red jacket, and the Americans wore the blue jackets.
Yes.
And she actually laughed because she says the funny thing here is that they've been putting an American flag on that grave ever since they bought the house as part of the upkeep. So anyways, it really is mind-blowing. I mean, I'm still looking at this and saying, wow. But that's the power of spirit, right?
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I have to say, I've seen a lot of pictures. People send me pictures constantly and just ask me for my advice or what I see. I've never seen a picture that looks like it's not like an image. It's not cloudy. It's not clear. It looks exactly like. And besides the fact, people on Facebook are seeing this picture, and I'll post it on my Facebook page too. The cat in the picture is so cute. Just got his little black paw over the couch. He's just saying, yeah, I know there's a British soldier from the Revolutionary War behind me, but I'm cool.
But she did see, actually, so my friend actually said that a few days before that the niece actually said, a young girl said there was she saw a ghost, and that the cat was acting weird.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. So, but I'm glad we got to share that. That's pretty amazing. We are going to take a break, and when I come back, we are going to have my special guest, who I am so excited about. So we'll be right back.
On January 10th at 4:30 p.m. at the Attleboro Library, Gabriela Vieira of Webster Bank will present a workshop titled Preventing Elder Financial Abuse. The incidence of financial exploitation of elders and vulnerable adults is growing nationally. Fraudulent telemarketing schemes and scam artists increasingly target elders, resulting in significant financial losses. This workshop will provide an overview of the signs and symptoms of financial exploitation and fraud, and strategies for protecting assets. If you are interested in attending, you can call the Attleboro Council on Aging at 774-203-1900.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Claudino's Auto Repair, located at 310 South Main Street in Attleboro, is celebrating 25 years in the auto and truck repair business. Over the years, John Claudino and his team of mechanics have worked to build a long-lasting rapport with their customers. From oil changes to diagnostics, transmissions, and routine maintenance on foreign and domestic cars and trucks, Claudino's will keep your vehicle running. Claudino's Auto Repair, 508-226-8545 or at claudinosautorepair.com.
Join AACS this week as we showcase Beyond the Pipes, a concert celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Russell B. Richardson Memorial Organ. Learn the history behind the instrument and become lost in the moment as you listen to the universal language of music. You can watch this program and all of our quality programs from around the area in high definition on the AACS Roku channel.
And welcome back to Through the Static. That was pretty amazing, though, wasn't it? I mean, just talking about the soldier and the Revolutionary War. So, I think we're having just a technical issue getting my guest. Yes, we'll be good.
But by the way, for those of you on the radio, if you want to actually see what the picture looks like, both pictures, the original picture with the cat and the man in the background, and a picture of with Stephen Google, the soldier from the Revolutionary War.
And a picture of me too.
Well, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you'll be happy to put a picture of you. But go for those of you on Facebook, take a look at the Facebook Live feed, and you'll be able to see the picture. We actually put it on the Facebook Live feed.
Well, and the great thing is people that, work this time of day and can't listen to the show or can't watch Facebook Live, when they do get to go on to Facebook Live and see this, they'll be able to see the picture too and the story. But it's fascinating. This is completely fascinating. So I think it's pretty incredible, again, that this picture is so clear.
Yeah, get ready to be blown away. If you really don't believe in spirit, this is unbelievable, like really unbelievable.
And like I said, I've seen many pictures that people have sent me that are just displayed, but like outside and someone has a fire and you see the smoke just raising. And you can see like a face in it, and you can definitely make it out. Actually, if you go on my Facebook page, and if you scroll down, it was several months ago, maybe in the late summer, I took a picture of, which is the coolest picture of, it looks like Mother Mary holding baby Jesus, even though Jesus is an adult, but it's almost like his head is on her lap, right? That picture.
Which one are we talking about?
On my phone, I have this application, a weather application, and I was just, when I first started, like about 4 years ago, with this whole mediumship thing, I saw this woman. Are we ready? Okay, I saw this woman. This picture of this woman, and I didn't know who it was. I'm like, oh my God, this is like someone painted it. It was so wild. And the weather application is the globe. And then just like maybe late summer, I thought of it. I'm like, you know what? I used to see pictures in this application through Spirit. I go on it, and anybody that has Facebook, you've got to go to Stephen the Medium and just scroll down to see this picture. It's whether that's your religion, whether you believe, it doesn't matter. Just to actually see what looks exactly like Mother Mary holding, I keep saying baby Jesus, but it's not baby, it's Jesus, is incredible. It's incredible. So we're still trying to get my guest on the phone, but we can just keep chatting. I'm sure Facebook Live is still here, and I'm sure he'll get her on pretty soon. I was asking Facebook Live people about their traditions in Christmas time and ornaments that that you had when you were a little kid, and that you put on now, and it's this time of year is just a very difficult time of year, because I think when you think about losing someone, the sadness is just exaggerated. It just makes you feel, that much sadder. And I think keeping those traditions alive are always a great thing. So I think we may. Hello, this is Stephen. Is this Sandra? Hello? Hello? Nobody's here. Hello?
Hold on, I think we...
Hello?
I can hear you. Hello.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry about that. Yay!
Yes.
So we're on. So let me just do a little introduction, because both Elix and I are so excited about you being here. I haven't told anybody who's coming on, so I will just do this quick introduction. The author of international best-selling book called We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. Our such close personal friend who we love. Welcome, Sandra Champlain.
Oh, thank you, Stephen, and hello, Elix.
Hello, Sandra.
I couldn't be happier to be here.
Oh, we're so happy. We're so happy. And Mark got you finally on. So the most important thing is that you're here. And so, Sandra, for many of the listeners that may not know who you are, if you could just start off by just telling us who Sandra Champlain is.
I sure will. Well, first of all, the title of my book is We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. I'm somebody who grew up not believing in the afterlife, not even close to believing in any psychic or medium abilities, and I live in Massachusetts. Long story short, I went through a fear of dying back in the 90s that led me on, at the time, a 15-year research. Is there any evidence of life after death? And very secretly, I studied all kinds of things. And for myself, my fears were rested, but I never came out to the public telling people what I believed in for fear of people thinking I was one of those crazy weirdos that believe in this stuff. And back in the year 2010, my dad passed away, and it created the worst grief that I've ever known is possible. And I found out some things about the grieving process that helped give understanding to me about why the pain has to hurt so bad, and some things to help alleviate the pain. And at that time, I thought if I could have the courage and share my story of why I believe we don't die and help people understand the grieving process and what I think life is for, then that would help some souls. So very courageously, I did that. And 5 years ago, my book came out, and I'm no longer secret about my beliefs, because beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's more than faith. There's a knowing that we don't die, that our loved ones are all around us. And since then, I started my own podcast, which is called We Don't Die Radio. And you can find that at WeDon'tDieRadio.com. And I have over 280 episodes of interviewing people about the afterlife and living a good life. So it's a labor of love. I maintain a day job, owning a catering business with my mom, but this is a labor of love because I know it gives life to people and even saves lives. Stephen and Elix, I know you know, but I've had many people email me that they have not chosen suicide because they've heard either words from my book on the radio show, or I have a How to Survive Grief audio that I give away. So that's why I'm on planet Earth, to help people live a good life and understand their loved ones are around them. And there's the answer to my question.
I think that's amazing. And just for the record, I certainly have been honored to be on 2 of your episodes, right at the beginning, which I think is really cool for me, because I just think it's really great that I'm like, when you first started, I think I'm number 15, and then just recently again. So thank you for that, for having me on. But Sandra, what really interests me about you, and thank you for that introduction, I think that in a nutshell really says who you are, even though there's so many different layers of Sandra, really. But what really interests me is that there's people that have spoken to me that, you know, maybe have a strong faith, and then they have lost somebody, and then their faith they just put to the wayside. They throw it out the window. They may come back to it. They may kind of toggle back and forth. But if it's not too personal, what really ignited you to? Most people don't do. The majority of people don't do what you've done. All this research, and really to get that light under you. Did you just, when you felt like you needed to start doing this, did you feel like this is bigger than you? It's your purpose. How did that first step happen? That Sandra Champlain has a book and has all this research on spirit.
I think the starting in the beginning was me really trying to quench my fears. Not ever in a billion years thinking I'd ever tell anybody about it. But the thing that happened is after my dad died, I experienced the worst pain that I've ever known in my life. Not only did he pass, and he and I were very close, but our family became one that started fighting, not necessarily over the will, but just about Dad's care before he passed, and then after about the stuff. And I ended up losing, and I'm saying it's just a temporary loss, some relationships with close family members and siblings, and it devastated me. So I was not suicidal, but I felt so low that I could totally understand why someone would want to choose that route if they felt this way.
Wow.
And anybody who has faith to drop to the all-time low of lows, and I think that pretty much talks about people that lose their faith. And when I started discovering how our brain waves, not brain waves, but our brain, different neurotransmitter levels change when we grieve, and I got understanding for even our memory and our communication centers in our brains change, and why the pain has to hurt, why it hurts so much, like what's going on in our brain that causes that. And all it took for me was to start doing some of the things, and they may sound simple, like getting out in the sunlight or listening to favorite music or going out for a walk or talking to a friend, but different things we can do that can actually help promote our healthy neurotransmitters in our brain. Anyways, it got me feeling better. And the very thing that had me really come out with this and gave me, like, this is my purpose, is that I created this audio called How to Survive Grief. And I give it away at survivegrief.com. Anyone can listen to it. 70 minutes about the grieving process and what happens in the brain and some tools to feel better. But it was an actual person that I know that I cater for race car teams. So he was a race car team member. And he looked me in the eye, and he had listened to that audio. And he was actually grieving the loss of a divorce. His wife had left him for another man. And he said, everything that you explained in the grieving process is what I was feeling. And he already had his suicide planned. And he said, because you spoke and you knew the words that were going on in my mind and how I was thinking and how I was feeling, he said, I knew that that was part of a grief and it was not my fault. And he said, and I started doing the things that you suggest to feel better. And he chose not to commit suicide. And then after that, he ended up finding the love of his life. So he's very happy now.
Sandra, that is so powerful. And I'm so excited about having you on. We have to take a quick break, so hold on because I can't wait to continue talking to you.
Okay.
All right.
The Attleboro Public Library is beginning a new series called Book Chat with a Librarian. Reader's Advisory Librarian Elise LaForge will be available at the library on Thursday, December 13th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, December 22nd from 1 to 2 p.m., and on Friday, December 28th from 10 to 11 a.m. to help you find your next great read. Whether you're looking to try something new or looking for something similar to an old favorite, Elise can help. Stop by the lobby on any of these days to have a book chat with a librarian. For more information and to see other events happening at the library, you can visit attleboro.library.org or call 508-222-0157.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
For over 47 years, Amigo Inc. has been offering services and programs for children and adults with autism spectrum disorders and other disabilities. Located at 33 Perry Avenue in Attleboro, Amigo has been committed to building vital relationships while expanding their community ties on the local level. Amigo provides day programs, transitional planning, and a continuum of services to support all ages. For more information, you can visit their website at amigoinc.org.
And welcome back to Through the Static. I want to continue my conversation with Sandra Champlain. Sandra, before we went to break, I think that was so powerful to hear what you just said. And as you just mentioned, I can't even imagine how many others that listen to your podcast, read your book, are in the same situation, and what I think and end up in a positive way because of that. But what I think is pretty remarkable what you've done, which I think a lot of people don't, is I know we've also talked about this. Just talk about the pain that you went through with losing your dad, but how that pain was the worst pain, but yet it equaled, such an amazing new chapter in your life, right?
Oh, it did. And I started having the courage to share my beliefs, which was huge. Because anybody, I think probably many of your listeners right now, we lead the secret life that we're interested in mediumship and we're interested in life after death things, but we don't talk about it to people in our life because they think we might be crazy. And I had one of the biggest gifts to me was after I published just before I published my book, actually, the night before it went to print, I had to reread the book and make sure it was suitable for it to be printed. And that very same night, I had to put to sleep my kitty, Millie, who I had for 11 years.
Wow.
Who I will start to cry here because I do believe many of us, well, we know this. We get unconditional love from our animals, and we don't even feel that much love, I think, very often for human beings. And so on this particular night, my aunt and I brought Millie to the vet, and we said goodbye to her. And it was severe grief. It was like I didn't even care at that moment that I wrote the book. It was just like I was feeling that flood of emotions that comes in with the grieving process. But here's the thing. I had to reread the book before it went to print. So I took a day and just read straight through the whole book. And what it did is it brought me from the lowest of lows. And any of us that have lost multiple people or, I mean, I say lost because they're not lost, they're just transitioned, but any of us who've had pets and loved ones that are departed, no longer with us in the physical, every time we grieve, it reignites the pain from the last time. So I was grieving the loss of Millie and my father and my grandmother all at the same time.
Wow.
By me reading my book, it brought me from grief to faith to comfort to, oh yeah, here are the tools to help lessen the pain. It made me realize that Millie still exists by my side. I just can't see her, but I can still reach out and pet her and trust that she's there. And Millie's gift to me, and I do think animals are so spiritual, but I think she actually chose to go when she did, or God, the divine source, whomever you call it, made this happen so I would know how powerful the words are in that book. So that gave me the fuel to realize how powerful the words are to help anybody and get people, I don't even want to say back into life, but so many of us die internally when a loved one passes. We can go on grieving for the rest of our lives, but give people the tools to not only live again, but to look to grief as this might be the thing that cracks us wide open to start our own spiritual journeys. And I'm on from having the most pain that I've ever had to now finding my life's purpose and having the most joy and the closest fantastic friends, and I'm on the greatest adventure, and none of that would have happened had I not had the worst experience of my life. So if someone's listening to this right now and is grieving the loss of a loved one, I send you a distant hug, and it's very, very difficult. And my prayer is that someday you look past at this day and say, wow, if that didn't happen, this other great thing wouldn't have happened. And just, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that there's the potential to unlock a great life ahead of you, and it starts with grief.
It's amazing, Sandra, just listening to you, and you know, I think from what I've seen or what I've experienced or what I believe, you know, you hear some stories about maybe somebody in a car accident, and when they're you know, when they make it through and they're back up to speed, that maybe they can pick up a guitar and now they can play, which they never could. You know, across my life, I've heard these different stories, and I've always believed that when we go through something that is heart-wrenching, it's just like you just talked about, Sandra, with your dad, your grandmother, your kitty, and it opens up sort of like a portal that is not normally open, I think, to the extent that it is when something like that happens. And I think it's really just, it's the universe, God, if you will, whomever you believe in, spirit helping, saying, we see all this pain that you're going through, but if you grasp what we're trying to guide you to, this can be, you can get to such a better place, a place that you've never thought prior to the loss you could ever imagine. And it sounds exactly, that analogy is really exactly what happened with you. I mean, just taking advantage of that hurt. But Sandra, I honestly, I'll be the first to say, I don't know how you did this. I don't know how you've reached out to these incredible people you've interviewed, how you've contacted them. It's pretty amazing. But one of the things I have to ask you, what is the biggest surprise? Like, what has surprised you the most since you've started this journey?
Well, there's two things. One is, well, there's actually a few things, but just most recently I had seen a demonstration from a medium in Europe, and nobody knew me over there. Nobody. And she just said, I've got a man here. His name is John. A lot of people raise their hand because they've got a John in spirit. No, he says he's a father. The daughter's in the room. I kept my hand raised. He said that he's an airline pilot. I'm like, yes. Captain, yes. American Airlines, yes. It went on to give me an unbelievable evidence of my dad. And she says, your dad sees you planning events in the United States, and he wants you to remember the grief that you felt, and the joy that you now feel, and that's your gift to other people, and he walks by your side as you do that.
Wow.
And then she went right on to the next person.
Wow.
Another big surprise I had was there's people out there called spirit artists, and not only are evidential mediums with verbs, with verbal, I'm all excited here, so I can't speak. But they draw sketches, and I had somebody draw a picture of my dad as he appeared in the Air Force when he was back in his 20s, and that person said, we can be any age we choose when we transition, and that was your dad's favorite time. And the third, I've got so many that are popping in, but I'll share this with you. There's a Brazilian scientist, little tiny lady called Sonia Rinaldi, and for the last 30 years, she has been working with parents, giving this away for free, and will have a parent sitting with an empty chair next to them, and she says, talk to your child. And she tape records this, and when it gets played back, the child's voice is speaking back to the parent. And that in and of itself is great. And for the last 2 years, she has been, same thing, working with the parents, but this time having her camera on a television screen or computer monitor or something like that. And when her video gets played back, the children are able to put their faces, their pictures on the recording, on the film, and digitally somehow, even one little boy who was a toddler when he passed is showing himself growing up in heaven in this series of pictures.
Oh, my God.
And the inventor, great mind Nikola Tesla, she believes is working with her from the other side. His voice has come on. He has said his name. He's even shown pictures of himself in the afterlife, dressed very much like he did back when he was living. However, there's not a single photograph of Nikola Tesla smiling. And in her images, he's smiling.
That's, you know what, and I think this is a perfect lead-in to something that we need to talk about that I am so excited about, Miss Sandra. Please
Yay.
tell the listeners what we're doing, because I think I only have like a minute or so left, and I'm sorry we started this late, but let's talk about February.
Yes, February 22nd through 24th, Stephen and I and a group of, I think, 6 other people will be at an event that I'm creating called We Don't Die Boston. And it's actually going to be held in Quincy at the Best Western. You can go to WeDon'tDieBoston.com to find out more. And for me, it's the best evidence of the afterlife. I present my 10 reasons to believe in the afterlife, which is the best of the best, I feel, and now over 20 years of research. Stephen the medium, and a few other great mediums coming from international will be doing demonstrations throughout the weekend. I've got a local author named Joe Higgins who's written 4 books about signs of the afterlife. There's Sonia Rinaldi, this tiny little thing. She's beautiful. She is flying from Brazil to do her presentation, showing pictures and her journey of this evidence of the afterlife. And there's a wonderful man named Scott Milligan who's become a friend. There's a whole field we don't have time to talk about physical mediumship, and that is our loved ones actually coming back and becoming real again and having their voices become real, kind of like in the movie Ghost when Patrick Swayze could walk into Whoopi Goldberg and talk to his wife again. There is some things that are hard to fathom that are real. And that
it sounds amazing. I wish I had more time. So for people that are listening, where do they go, Sandra, to get the information? WeDon'tDieBoston.com, or you can check out my radio show at WeDon'tDieRadio.com. There's a free copy of my book there for your listeners, How to Survive Grief, and so much more, just free information. Oh, Sandra, thank you. And I know anybody that's either local or not local, you got to get to this event. It's going to be I think it's going to be mind-blowing. It's the first one, and I know what Sandra's capable of, and everyone that does come is going to be taken care of. So please check this out, and I hope to see you. And Sandra, thank you so much. Love to you. Thank you for calling in. We loved it, and we'll talk soon.
Love you. Happy holidays.
I love you too. We'll be back.
On January 10th at 4:30 p.m. at the Attleboro Library, Gabriela Vieira of Webster Bank will present a workshop titled Preventing Elder Financial Abuse. The incidence of financial exploitation of elders and vulnerable adults is growing nationally. Fraudulent telemarketing schemes and scam artists increasingly target elders, resulting in significant financial losses. This workshop will provide an overview of the signs and symptoms of financial exploitation and fraud, and strategies for protecting assets. If you are interested in attending, you can call the Attleboro Council on Aging at 774-203-1900.
Falls AC, 8 Stack Road in North Attleboro supports high school sports in our community at every level. Opened in the early 80s, owner Angelo Cavallari is proud of their 36 years of service to the Attleboros. Falls AC is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. They have lunch and dinner daily, banquet rooms for your meetings or get-togethers, and dart leagues. The entire staff at Falls AC wishes the high school athletes the best of luck in every game. Falls AC, 8 Stack Road, North Attleboro, 508-695-2688.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to Through the Static. How was that for an interview with Sandra? She is
amazing.
Not just incredible, but just such a beautiful, big-hearted woman who just will do anything for you. So this event in February is going to be incredible. So remember, We Don't Die Boston. Check it out. And
she's one of my most proudest clients.
Yeah, she's been a client of Helix's, and that's how I actually met her, and thank God I did get to meet Sandra. So so if you're still listening, Sandra, thank you again for the interview, and if you're with Mama in Vegas, hi Mama.
Hi Mama.
So there's somebody waiting. Let's just get, I don't have a lot of time, but let's just get someone on.
Let's do it.
Hello, this is Steven. Hello.
Hey Steven, it's Matt. How you doing?
Hey Matt, how you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, Helix, how's it going?
Wow, is he even including you, Helix?
I'm doing excellent, Matt.
That's good.
Surprise!
Maybe
we don't often get guys calling.
No, but I like it, and a shout out to you too. So, so Matt, I don't have much time, but I'm glad you called, and I will do my best. Matt, wow, there's a grandmother steps forward first. There's also, she keeps telling me there's anniversary birthday really close. She keeps showing me a bouquet of flowers. It could be anniversary of someone crossing, birthday, regular anniversary, but usually like 3 weeks back, 3 weeks forward. Matt, who's the A name? Anthony, who's A connected to you? Just think living as well as crossed. But I keep hearing it's a huge A name. Amber? Agnes? I don't know who this is, but connected somehow to you. It could be like if you have a significant other, it also could be connected to that person. Just keep it with you because it's very important. Is your father crossed?
Yes.
So your father just stepped forward and just yelled that you know who the A name is. It almost makes me feel like it could be like a strange middle name or a last name, because I can't. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'll get the actual name and I can't make it out. Like Antoine or a place. You got to keep this with you, Matt, because I keep getting your father's saying yes. Is there like a garage or like a VFW that you're connected to?
A garage?
Or like I'm asking because I can hear what it sounds like, and I don't know why I'm coming to this, but the way your father's giving this, there's a young female to your right too, really close to you, but the way your father talks about it, Antoinette, is there a street or something connected with that name? Do you know?
Not to my knowledge at the moment, no. I'd have to think about it.
So just keep it with you, Matt. And your father said make sure you keep it with you. Who's the female that's everywhere you? She just showed me you walking, and everywhere you walk, she's walking next to you. But it doesn't make me feel like it's a young female like 5 years old. It makes me feel like it's a young female who like 20s, 30s maybe crossed.
Yeah. It was my wife. I was married.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So just know, Matt, it's just a way to let you know that she's here. The A name could also be connected to her. Your father is got a good sense of humor because he's saying, you know. I don't know why I keep going to a garage. What I mean, does someone work as a mechanic or work with machinery?
I'm actually in the process of selling my home to a guy who owns a garage.
Oh, there it is, Matt. There it is. So,
but
wow.
It's Eli. That's my buddy's name.
So just know, even though what I was telling about the A is still, I still stand behind it because your father's saying it. But just know that it's a way that your dad's letting you know that he knows that you're selling the house to the guy that he owns a garage.
Yeah.
That's so wild. So no, Dad just saying he knows. And this is your wife or ex-wife? I can't remember what you said. Your wife? The one who's crossed.
Yes.
Okay. She just keeps giving the thumbs up on where you're going. So wherever the move's happening, Matt, or wherever you're moving to, just know that she's just very, very happy that this is happening. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
But she also just said he knows. So you must connect with her. You must know that she's with you all the time, because when I just said that, she's like, he already knows this, but I'll say it anyway. So it's a great thing. So, but this Antoine's name, you got to keep it with you, Matt, and let me know, because I can't. I don't know where to go with it, but your father keeps yelling at it. So what was that?
Trying to think of someone at work or anything.
Yeah, just keep it with you. So it's just
know a lot of A's.
And where's
a lot of A-holes too.
What? Matt, watch. This is PG. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's the necklace come in? Well, who wears something around the neck?
My girlfriend does. She wears multiple.
No, but But is it something connected? What? Like I feel like when I hold it, it means a lot to me.
When I was going through a lot of my mother's stuff,
right?
When I was moving, I found a necklace that actually had a photo of me and my brother. It was double-sided, and it's actually a photo of the both of us when we were like 3 or 4 or young.
Wow, just
I have that.
But why does why does she say you have a necklace? You don't wear a necklace?
Not no more. No, I used to.
Oh, so that's what it is. So just whatever you used to wear is just. So Mom is also crossed?
Yes.
So just know that it's just Mom just letting you know that she's around. She just said to me she gave this to your father. This is the first time, because usually she, if it's a time limit, she's going to speak and not your father. But she figured he needs some kind of conversation with you. Your mother's very funny too. Your mother is like, all I can tell you, Matt, is your mother just like looked at you, and I just hear my boy. That's my life. So, and again, she also says you know that. So just make sure you keep it with you. And this fingers. Does someone have an issue with fingers? It makes me feel, Matt, like someone cut a finger off, or there's something with like an appendage. Finger.
I have a friend of mine I grew up with. He was actually going to be a major league pitcher, and he cut his fingers off in wood shop. And a couple of years ago, he ended up passing away.
Oh my God, Matt! So know that it's him stepping forward to let you know that he's here, and keep 82 with you too. 82. I don't know if this is August 2nd. 82. Just make sure you keep it. Sometimes they'll split it like August 2nd, or it could be the year if someone was born in 82, or it could be the 2 months. It could be August and February. But I just heard, and it sounds more like it's the baseball player. Just how wild is that he's stepping forward to let you know, hi. So it's a great thing. So he just said that you recently thought about him.
I'm trying to think.
I guess not too deep because you don't remember.
No, this has been a very hectic month. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've actually there's a couple people I thought about. I'm trying to remember if this is the same individual that may have crossed my mind at one point.
Well, whoever's stepping forward is just saying that you either talked about them or have something or looked at something or a picture or obituary. I don't know what this is, but just know that they just also want to let you know that they're stepping forward. Even though this baseball guy is very big around you and just keeps telling me he's helping you. So Matt, with that said, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, because I'm up to the end of the show, and lots of love, and thank you for calling, Matt.
Thank you guys very much, and Merry Christmas to you guys as well, too.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. So I think I'm done. I don't have any more time for calls. I'm sorry about that. I definitely wanted to get Sandra in because I think she's a remarkable person, and to talk about the February event. And next week...
We Don't Die Boston.
We Don't Die Boston, right. I'm going to be there. That's all you need to know. You just got to come, right?
And you can find information on... your website?
Yes.
Sandra's website?
Yeah, both. You can go to StephenTheMedium.com. As I mentioned before, I think on Facebook Live, all these shows are actually on YouTube, my YouTube channel, so check that out, Stephen the Medium. I just transfer them over there. Next week, we're not going to be here because it's the Christmas week. Elix has
my family
coming
Puerto Rican family
from Puerto Rico, so I'll be back in 2 weeks, probably 50 pounds.
You'll be back?
In 2 weeks.
Alone?
No, you're not letting me
we'll
finish.
Be back.
I was going to say, with 50 pounds on me, I'm going to have maternity pants with Elix's family cooking this Puerto Rican food. So, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas. I so look forward to the new year. I think it's January 2nd, 2019. We'll be back to do this all over again. And make sure you tune in, call, and we will pick up where we're leaving off with messages from Spirit. So much love to everybody, and again, happy holidays.